American scene, a panorama of beauty and abundance. But in the wonder of this scene, there is far more than meets the eye. There is wonder, too, in how we have put more of the good things within man's reach than any other nation in history. It is a miracle of exchange in which every corner of the country joins. From the prairies, the farmer sends his wheat. From the north and west comes lumber for our homes and farms. The wealth of Dixie is cotton, plus more and more manufactured goods. And from the lush, sunny climates come fruits and good health. Good things from everywhere are an American daily privilege. They come even from out of our deserts. Here, beneath the barren, windswept wastes of San Juan Basin in New Mexico, lies hidden treasure that will mean better living for every man, woman, and child of the Pacific Northwest. Natural gas. What is natural gas? And how did it come to this desolation of sand and rock? Well, this was not always a desert. Recurring ocean floods deposited silt and shale and the debris of millions of years of marine and vegetable life, layer over layer. Enormous pressures, heat, and time changed all this into the miracle of oil and natural gas. Later upheavals formed a rocky crust, trapping it in pockets where it remains today. Finding these pockets is like stabbing in the dark. Scientific logs and surveys may indicate the best prospects, but only the drilling bit can find the answer. These men have drilled to 6,000 feet. They may have another mile to go. Every 1,000 feet uses up 4 rock bits. And to change the bits, the drill pipe must come out of the hole. It's done in 90-foot lengths, piece by piece, over and over again. That's the work of drilling a well. Fortunately, science has reduced the danger of drilling. The old hazards of fire and blowouts are rare today. But the men still have a respect for the tremendous forces they are tapping below the surface. A blowout crumples metal derricks into junk in a few minutes. When the drilling is done, what remains is a giant valve called a Christmas tree. The gas is visible to our eyes because it carries impurities from the ground. Moisture, petroleum, even bits of sand and dirt. So the gas moves to the scrubbers. Here, all the solid impurities are removed to keep gas lines clean and to make sure the fuel will burn hot and steady. Petroleum liquids are removed in these special stills, leaving a pure, dry product ready for market. From now on, the gas will be handled through compressor stations like this one. 5 2,000 horsepower compressors at each station will boost the gas up to the Pacific Northwest. But that's a long way off. The obstacles are many, and the course is rough. These men are planning the way. Their theater of operations, nearly 500,000 square miles of rugged country. The enemy? Mountains, rivers, desert heat, and 1,400 miles of distance, all to be spanned by a hollow ribbon of steel. The size of such an undertaking ranks with any of the classical 7 wonders. Only modern-day tools make it possible. The first are the airplane and camera. A foot-by-foot aerial map is photographed of the entire way. The photo maps are studied and plotted, and every problem solved, at least on paper. Then every hill, plateau, mountain, and valley is sized up in person by the surveyors who stake out the best way through, under and over the impassable. Not all pipeline obstacles are natural. Some are legal. The right-of-way crosses 6,000 parcels of private lands. The company must ask and pay for permission to cross fields and pastures and provide for perfect restoration of the land to as good or better condition. But then, after weeks of planning, exploring, and unimaginable detail, the route is approved. Now the wheels begin to turn. In Provo, Utah, the entire output of this new plant has been earmarked in advance. The product? Pipe. 40-foot, 2-ton lengths of steel. 1,400 miles of it. From here and 3 other factories, night and day, the pipe begins to roll. At the right-of-way, the pipe is quickly unloaded by the pipeliner's jack-of-all-jobs, the side boom caterpillars. Handling 2-ton lengths of pipe is a cinch when you have the tools and know-how. That goes for ditch digging, too. The pick and shovel is out. There's only one way to dig a 6-foot ditch, fast, neat, and 1,400 miles long. And that's with this mechanical groundhog, the ditcher. The ditcher paces the operation at 10 feet a minute, and about all that can stop it is solid rock. When bedrock comes up to the surface, it takes other skills and other machines to go on. Stand back. We're going to blast. Here's where the dust really flies. Here's the precision job of lining up and joining the 40-foot lengths into a continuous pipe that spans half a nation. Now comes one of the most responsible jobs in the whole business of building a pipeline: welding. Pipeliners aim for permanence, and they aim for uninterrupted gas service to the customer. These welders are the elite of their trade. You'll never find better welding. But even the welder can't see what's going on inside the metal as he works. Only the probing eye of the X-ray can tell the whole story. The X-ray machine goes into the pipe, and the film is wrapped around the joint. In a few minutes, they have a picture of the weld clear around the pipe, a picture that usually says, "Okay." Again, in the interests of long, trouble-free service, the pipe is coated with the finest preservative made, tar. When that's done, another coat of tar, and then a layer of fiberglass, a tough covering. Electronics help to detect any flaws in the wrapping. Bare spots sound a warning that here's a chance for corrosion. But the cure is simple. Lowering in the pipe is no reason for special ceremony, even though this is the last we will see of it. And never mind that it'll still be doing service when our great-grandchildren are grown. putting this time capsule to bed is routine for the pipeliner. And that's how you build a pipeline. But just when you think you've got it down pat, you hit some new problem, like the Colorado River at Moab, Utah. Here's the land of the tourist, the fisherman, even the hunter, but not the pipeliner. Mountains and rivers make tough going. It's here that the Colorado begins its age-old job of carving the Grand Canyon. But luckily, the tall cliffs fall back from the river's edge, briefly giving the pipeliners a gentle slope to the water. The crossing begins by dredging a ditch along the bottom to take the pipe. The pipe lengths are joined and welded as before, and concrete weights are added to keep the pipe firmly on the bottom. Then the cats take over and gently ease it into the water, while on the opposite bank, machines pull the free end of the pipe to shore. The turbulent Colorado is only one of dozens of rivers and streams across the right-of-way. Crossing each one had its special problems, but none is impassable to the trillions of cubic feet of gas that will flow beneath them in the years to come. Now the line moves overland again to face new problems, new terrain, the uplands, the forests, and the rocky North Country. From the desert, it rises to the wooded Uinta Mountains, and another challenge. Here, our 30-foot swath through the trees shows the wide right-of-way needed for the pipeline for the road used to bring in material. The path makes a good fire break, and the road will make it easy for the fire warden. And here are the ramparts of Douglas Pass, highest point reached by the pipeline, 8,000 feet above sea level. To lift the gas over this crest, a tremendous boost will be needed from the compressors along the way. The valleys pose other problems. Here at the Green River, it takes more than one pipeline to do the job. To ensure uninterrupted service in case of emergency, the line is split into two as it crosses the river. Here, the second of the two arteries is being put to bed. Finally, the power shovel takes over for the job of backfilling. Another of nature's obstacles has been met and conquered. On the other side of the river, the two lines join again into one, as the pipeliners prepare to tackle yet another range of mountains, blocking their way to the northwest. But despite difficulties, the pipeline moves steadily onward, from Utah into Wyoming and Idaho, where it will serve the people of Pocatello and Boise.
The diesels invade the canyons. The shoulders of the mountains are given a necklace of steel. The way is not only northward, but up and down. Men and machines feel the strain of gravity on the heavy graves. Every rise and fall of the terrain must be accounted for by the engineers. The straight lengths of pipe are curved and cambered to suit. Here is the pipe bending machine, tailoring the length of pipe to fit the next ridge ahead. As the work of building the main pipeline goes steadily forward, other men in the northwest are busy laying down the lateral lines that will carry the gas from the main line to the local distributors, who in turn deliver it to the consumers. These lateral lines are so numerous that if included in the total length of the pipeline, most of it would fall in the three states of Idaho, Oregon, and Washington. In fact, 920 miles in Washington alone. At last, the pipeliners find themselves in a vast corridor of green. It's the northwest, and the dry, hot desert is almost forgotten. This is their landfall and destination. At Pendleton, the line branches to reach the major cities of the Northwest. Then finally to Sumas Trail, climaxing another achievement of American ingenuity. But the end is only the beginning for the Northwest and its cities, large and small. It's the beginning of a new flood of power that means prosperity. The new pipeline can deliver nearly 300 million cubic feet of gas per day. This means that 3 times the energy now available from the tumbling waters of our great rivers
can be put to use to produce goods and services for the people of this area. The Pacific Northwest is one of the fastest growing sections of the country. With industry and population expanding steadily, the area needs all the energy it can get. Natural gas will meet these new demands and free electricity to do the jobs it can do best, like heating electric furnaces for the steel industry, running machine tools, making aluminum, and lighting our cities. Now we have a great new source of energy, natural gas. It is the best fuel for over 25,000 industrial processes. And for some, it is the only possible fuel for the job. It gives glass bottles their shape and sparkle, melts light bulbs to the exact degree necessary for a perfect seal with their bases. It hardens gears, universal joints, and critical engine parts against wear in automatic temperature-controlled gas furnaces. Gas also prepares giant steel ingots for the rolling mill in soaking pits like this one. It reduces magnesium and other metals to the consistency of water. When molded, this metal will form the intricate dies which stamp out the fairings for the great B-52 bomber. Of course, natural gas has long led the field in cooking. Professionals realize there's no better way to treat a steak than to broil it like this. Bakers prefer it too, because it's steady and economical. The commercial food business depends on it because with natural gas, it's so easy to get uniform results. And that's just a smattering of the things gas can do. Industry knows them all and is sending us their representatives because now that this versatile fuel is available in the Northwest, new plants and factories can be established here. Householders also know the value of gas. When it comes to the necessities for comfortable living, gas gives you the most satisfaction. The first requirement is proper temperature, winter and summer. When the mercury hits the stratosphere, it's a joy to walk into an air-conditioned house, and you're doing your health a favor too. There's no sign in this house of those restless, fretful, hot weather nerves. That's the miracle of gas. A tiny blue flame in this modern gas conditioning unit heats or cools the whole house automatically and keeps it at a healthy, even temperature. Conversion of your furnace to gas is simple. In many cases, it can be done merely by changing the burner. Another necessity in our modern way of life is plenty of hot water for bathing and for the automatic home laundry. A gas water heater gives you hot water faster and yet is only half the size of ordinary heaters. Lots of hot water also eases the job in the kitchen and leaves your china sparkling clean. And for silent, efficient, low-cost refrigeration, you can't beat gas. Since a flame does the work, there are no moving parts to wear. And look at all the conveniences inside. That's quality, and it looks it. The clothes are done and are ready for the dryer. Sun and wind can't compete with tumbler gas drying for beautiful, fluffy results. And for convenience and health, consider a modern gas incinerator. And gas appliances are pleasant company. Gas is the only fuel that goes directly from virgin source to burner tip, which means no storage problem and a cleaner, safer home for your family. As for cooking, if gas is the professional choice, how can you do better at home? Modern gas ranges are beauties. They're fast, easy to control, and a pleasure to use. The safety, speed, and economy of natural gas makes it the best general fuel for home use. 26 million families throughout the United States are already enjoying its special advantages. In the Northwest, too, gas will mean better living for all people. It's just the beginning of a new future, a new era of economic growth and prosperity. The signs are easy to see. Everywhere, merchants are staging grand openings to better living in new ultra-modern shopping centers. New industries are building their homes of steel, and each one represents new jobs for all. Wherever you look, people are seeing their dreams come true. And as each man builds his castle, he makes work for others so they can build theirs. The coming of natural gas starts a chain reaction that builds and builds to a better living for everyone. The Pacific Northwest Pipeline is an example of the American way of doing things. It will bring new leisure, prosperity, progress, and the good life for all the people of the Pacific Northwest.